Hello, 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 hello. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to make sure my phone is off. Okay, let's see. Okay, bring the volume down. And hopefully this won't be a long video because um the baby. Okay, so this is not going to be long. I just decided to go live instead of doing a recording. We're going to talk about sanitary pads as relates to your PMS, reproductive health, related to health, infertility, heavy bleeding, anything dealing with female organs that's related to the pads that you're using. And so I wanted to share with you because somebody asked about, did I share anything about the pads that most women use? And a lot of pads that we use have chemicals in it. So I talked about staying away from paraben, chemicals that we put on our hair, most of the hair gels, from shampoos to soaps, just reading your labels because all of those are endocrine disruptors, and what that means, it affects your hormones, and your hormones is linked to your cycle, your having PMS. If there's an imbalance, it links to infertility, it links to fibroids, thyroids, anything related to your health. If there's a hormonal imbalance, you're going to have a health issue. Any of the ones that I listed already, as well as other health issues like diabetes and high blood pressure. So your endocrine disruptor is coming from the chemicals that we put in our body. So it's not just what we're eating, but what we're absorbing through our skin, which is the next part, which is the next largest organ of how we absorb things other than what we ingest. So other pads that you I'm bringing one. I wanted to use another one, but I'm just going to do, and sorry if I'm speaking fast, again, I'm always concerned about the baby. So I'm going to bring one that I'm using. There's another that I'm using also that is not the same, and I ran out of those. So that's going to be in another video, so you have many alternatives. You can also Google, so don't just use what I'm using, or always research. Okay, anything anybody share with you, follow and behind and read reviews and see if it's going to work for you. So right now I'm using a sanitary reusable pad, which I was supposed to do this video last month. I was supposed to do this video last month in my last cycle, and so I know it's a month ago because I'm on my cycle right now, so that's TMI. So I'm on my cycle now. Hi. Hi, Sharon. So I'm talking about pads. So we need to change our pads. Okay. You can Google many alternatives because the pads are issues. So people find relief when they change their pads to things that are chemical free. That is not the only thing you can do. I don't believe in one thing curing everything. It's a series of things, from diet to sleep to stress to what we put in our body. So not one thing works. You have to do a series of things. So in regards to the diet that I talked about before, and herbal remedies, pads. So I'm using this pad. That was a panty because I'm going to show you how to use it. This is a reusable pad. Okay, it's made with bamboo, charcoal, which I think is activated charcoal. That would make sense to me, if you understand what activated charcoal does. And waterproof layer. So it's supposed to be all natural. It feels comfortable, not that plastic stuff when you're using your regular pads. And it's chemical free. And it has attach in the back. So when you put your panty, you attach it. So it has two. If you want to make it tighter or just a little bit loose, you can do that, and it taps just like that. And surprisingly, it looks thin, but it's very absorbent. Now, if you have heavy bleeding, you would need to change it more. The only thing I don't like that I'm gonna recommend to the company, if I can email them or something, that longer pads for people that have heavy bleeding, something for the night overnight. I would still have them keep this because this is good. But somebody that has heavy bleeding, they would have to change out more, which you would need to buy another set because it comes in six. So I'd recommend another set. But I would not, if you have heavy bleeding, sleep with this at night, because unless you're using two. Okay, unless you're using two. But I would recommend to them, if they ever watch this video, make a longer one for those who have heavy bleeding, or one for overnight. That's the kind of the beef I have with the other company that I use that is not reusable, that I wish they had a longer one, for people that have heavier bleeding. And I'll share with them in another video. Yes, talk about hemorrhaging. Again, it's a series of things, but change your pads. You could Google this company, HighOh, HighGh, OH, and they come with a water proof bag. Now you do have to wash it, and that's a lot of blood. But how I do it is when I'm taking a bath, I wash it in there, let all the blood soak. Again, TMI, this might be gross for some, and not for others. So I hope you're not eating. So I rinse it out, maybe with vinegar and baking soda, peroxide, and then I wash it in the dryer. Wash it in the washing machine, and this is what I use. If I'm not making my own laundry detergent, I'm using this company, HighOh. So this is what I wash it with. So again, I'm trying to stay more chemical free because these things affects our body. This is why people are getting cancer, all the health issues, and they might eat healthy and trying to figure out why they still getting sick. It's just the environmental things that affects us as well, the chemicals. So this is what some of your pads may have. It may have dioxide, dioxin, chlorine, bleach, and a whole lot of other chemicals. Of course, it's plastic that are in the regular traditional pads. Using this type of pad or any other company, you want to have it that where it's free of chemicals, so it's not affecting your health as it relates to your cycle and your fibroids and other issues as well. Now, the company is made by women for women, so that was a plus for me, and purchasing and getting this item from them. And again, the biggest issue I would have with them is that, or the critique I would have is that they would have longer. I would want another bag, one to keep the ones that I'm not using, and have a bag for if I'm out and I need to change it, and have a bag for that. So I would recommend another bag. I'm not sure if they sell another bag. I have to go back on their website and check. So that's it. Longer pad and maybe 2 bags versus one. One for the one that is not used and one for the one that I'm using, so that I have it in there. And what else? That's it. And I would, for some people that have fibroids, you can't hold your urine. So if you don't want to use it for your cycle, you could definitely use it to, like, like a panty liner, or just, to help with holding, because it absorbs a lot of liquid. So you could use it as your bladder control, or for women that have incontinence, I think I'm saying it right. That's also what you can use, on your panties. So here's the panty right here, and this is it right here. Again, there's others that you can try, but this is the one I'm using right now, which is HighOh, and you just attach it right here. And it snaps. So this is it from the back, and this is it from the front. And it's, I think it was, I paid $29.90. No, it was $29.99. And I'm going to get another just to have extras, because then you have to wash it so frequently. You can let it soak. And like I said, I use vinegar and baking soda, or, just let it soak in water and soap that I mentioned to you. And that's it. And again, the reason you'd want to switch out your pads from the ones that are traditional, like your Always, what is the other ones? All the companies that are out there. I used to use Always. And when you find out all the chemicals that's filled in it, some people get rash. I never got a rash, but that doesn't mean it is not affecting me. I even changed my baby's diaper, because the same thing with them. Why do you think babies get rash and bumps on their bottom? It's the diapers. So if we have to change the diapers for baby that's touching their skin, what about us as women that using pads with the similar chemical and ingredients that they're using for our pads that they use for babies? And guess what? If it is affecting our hormones as women, what do you think is doing to the babies? So they're getting it early on. I give thumbs up to back in the day when they used cloth diapers, and I'm looking for a company right now that, if anybody have any recommendations, that does cloth diapers for baby. I'm using a company now, which is okay. It's supposed to be less chemical and chemical free. Is Hello Bello, for the baby's diaper. But I want to go further in doing cloth, and I would use the Hello Bello for nighttime, or another company for nighttime, and use the cloth diapers during the day. That is similar concept with this. So again, is to get rid of the chemicals and do more natural as possible, because the chemicals is affecting our endocrine system, which is connected to our hormones, and therefore that's why we have the issues. You can affect your hormones through diet, through what you put in your body, through stress, and just environment, depending on where you live. So if we can do more and more to just control what goes on our body as much as we can, and what goes in our body, then we'll see the results. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I've been trying to do this video since last cycle, and now I'm on my cycle now. And guys, no pain, I could talk. Back in the day, I couldn't talk. If I talk, I ran out of breath. I was in pain, just fatigue. And just the things I shared with you earlier, this is the results of being on my cycle, and being able to talk to you right now without laying in the bed because I'm so tired from my cycle. So at this time, if you have any question before that baby wakes up, and before this video turn out, you can do so now. But I just want to share that, and then I'll share another company that I use, but I ran out. But it's not reusable like this for those who probably not ready to make that move. There's another company. Somebody said it's 7th generation. I never used them. I was told they still might have some chemicals, so I can't vouch for them. I only can vouch for what I use. And I'll share that other company because it's not a popular one, but it works. Any questions, guys, that I can answer right now before I get off? Sorry, I think I just flipped the screen, and I did that again. Okay. Any questions? Let me see if I could see anything. Okay. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Okay, hi is okay, so please recommend those that you use so people can have ideas. Sharon, you started using cloth, good. So if you have any recommendations that what you use, please share it down. The more the barrier, what works for some people may not work for the others. For others, again, there's so many out there. I just wanted to expose y'all to this information and educating yourself, and not just changing your diet, but changing your pads. They killing us out there, and we have to educate ourselves. And as much as I can learn, I will also share with you. And I'm not the only one that's learning. If you guys are on there that have information that you would like to share, please do. If it's something that I know about that I don't agree with, I will comment. Like I think in another video, somebody said they use vinegar. I have a video about vinegar and about ingesting vinegar. Ideally, it's not good to ingest vinegar because it burns. Vinegar burns the throat. It causes anemia. It causes your bones to be brittle, creating osteoporosis, and it eats up your insides as well. So if you ever want to do an experiment with just regular vinegar and a chicken bone, you'll see what it does to that. Vinegar is so strong that it removes blood. It can remove stain. Sometimes they use it in crime scene. Other than Coke, they would use vinegar for blood. And so it's a strong chemical. And instead of using vinegar, you would use lemon. Okay, not vinegar, but lemon. Vinegar is acidic, and you don't want your body to be too high in acidity, which created an issue. It need to be a nice balance between alkaline and acid. Being acidic. And the lemon is both alkaline and acidic. So let me repeat myself to make sure I said that right. Vinegar is high in acidity, and you need a nice balance between alkaline and acidity. Vinegar doesn't have that. It just straight up acidity, acid, period. So with lemon, you have the nice balance of both. So I know somebody said they cure their fibroids with vinegar. I do not recommend vinegar because you're just creating another issue on top of that. So I'm looking at, see if I can see. These comments go so fast I don't see them. Okay. I'll give a quick overview. Okay, I will. How long do you think to drink the chaseberry tree you start seeing results? I started seeing results in a month. They say 3 months, but I started seeing in my next cycle. Somebody hit me up. Few people will hit me up when they see the results. Not everybody does. I wish people would do that. If you've seen results, share it. Email me, message me. A few people would message me and tell me just one cycle they saw the results. They had less pain. One lady from New Jersey hit me up, and she said just in one cycle she saw a relief. And so I like to hear that when people come back. A few have made mention on YouTube about, they like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the bathroom more blacks because of the blackstrap molasses, which will do that. The blackstrap molasses for some people, is almost like a laxative. It'll allow them to go to the bathroom, which is good. That's a very good thing. So please, if you've seen results, share that. I found results on my next cycle. So if I did it now, and like this month is what, October, I would out in my next cycle, I saw the results. It was said 3 months. For some people, it might be 3 months, but again, it's holistic. It's not one thing that works. But and how long did I take it? I still take it. That you could take the powder or you could take the liquid. I mix between the two. If I'm traveling, which I'm getting ready to travel, and I can't make the tea as much, so I'll use the powder, which you can get in capsule, or get the powder and put the and get your own capsule and do it yourself. And there's also the liquid, which preferably you want alcohol free. And what I'll do is I'll take a picture and I'll share it in the community. So hopefully I know how to get to the community on YouTube, and I'll take a picture of a company you can get it from that's alcohol free. I don't make any money from these. If I ever make any money, I will say, hey, this is an ad. So none of these people are paying me to do this. This is what I use. Let's see. Oh, it is very absorbent. Okay, yeah. Apple cider. Okay, this is absorbent. Now, would it be ghetto if I see y'all gonna make me drop some water in my couch because I don't have no high tech video? It is very absorbent. If you're a heavy bleeder, you would have to change it out much more. And I would not recommend sleeping with it at night. That was the thing I said about this company. I hope that they later make a longer one for those who sleep. For those who have with heavy period, because this wouldn't be used as an overnighter. I wouldn't recommend this as an overnighter. And it definitely absorbs a lot. I'm gonna see if I put water in this if it works, but it definitely absorbs. I think it lasts for me. I'm medium. I'm not a heavy, but I'm not a light. So I would put myself in medium. And I think I would use this for about 3 hours just for the one and be good for the 3 hours. So somebody with a heavy period, I would say 2 hours. I would say 2 hours for them. But if you're a heavy bleeder, I would not recommend sleeping this at night. Okay, and then Google, research other companies too to see what they're saying. And listen, Amazon, they're on Amazon. HighOh, HighOh, period. They're on Amazon. Read the reviews. I'm big on reading reviews, what people say, and then make a decision if you want to go with this or not. What else? And about vinegar, vinegar is very good externally. Far as if you had fungus on your foot, you can soak your feet in vinegar and water. And put it in a bucket. You can use that for a week and it would cure up that fungus. Externally, it's good. Internally, it is not. So yes, I know if you use bentonite clay and vinegar, you can use it as a facial. You can use vinegar on your hair. I don't have any. But ingesting it, no. I have a whole separate video on vinegar because there's a hype about vinegar. And I do not recommend drinking it. Even apple cider vinegar, I talk about that as well. It's just boiled apples. That's what it is. So externally good. Internally, I would not recommend. Let's see what else I didn't miss. Okay, but any other apart from the reusable, can I stomach them? That's why I said if for those who might be that ill, I don't want to have a name for people like that are more prissy and cannot see blood, because you're okay with the pad. It's when it comes time to cleaning the pad that you might have an issue. And again, there's two more things I want to share with you. Not on this video because I don't have them with me. I ran out and I meant to get it this morning, but it just didn't work out that way. Just didn't. But I'm gonna get that pad because it doesn't sell. They don't sell it everywhere, and I don't know if I could get it online, but I just don't do a lot of things online. So I'm gonna just get that pad. And there's another one that you could stick up your vagina, and I just have to research it more. And it's not a tampon. And I think the people that have it is Diva. I should have had all this before I came on this video. This is impromptu. Oh, most of my videos are impromptu. But I want to buy that and try before I share that information with you, this particular one. But I want to have it in case of emergency, like what happened to my sister in Atlanta 6-7 years ago. Not to her, but a coworker, where she was on her cycle and they were stuck on the road for hours because of ice. And she was on her cycle and could not change pads because she didn't have extra. And this particular thing, which I hate to talk about it, don't have it with me. It takes on the liquid of your period, and you can pour it out later. So it's different. It would probably be for those who can't stomach the blood. That would be a good alternative. I just want to make sure, as far as chemical wise, that it is healthy. So there's alternatives out there. But for those who have an issue of seeing blood when it comes time to wash it, you have an issue. You would have an issue because there's a lot of blood. It absorbs a lot. So when it comes time, I do it in the tub. You will see a lot of blood. I'm like, wow, I didn't know this actually can hold that much blood. So for people like that, you might have to rethink it. But I'll have other options for you as soon as I can get those items and share about those as well. What else? I'm trying to catch these messages as I'm trying to answer everybody. No problem. Okay, I answered that. Yeah, stomach the blood. No problem. Okay. Yes, because I darn near him. Okay. So again, I don't want to be called the fiber ladies. I got everybody asking me about other health issues that I want to talk about. I'm gonna touch on diet a little bit because it's key. On my website, sheiswhole.org, I talk about diet. So if you're experiencing anything related to your period and hemorrhaging and heavy bleeding, like I mentioned to you, find out, read everything that you put on your hair. Okay, there are alternatives out there that are not filled with a bunch of chemicals in it. Start removing those from your list of things that you have. Chemical free in regards to your gels, your shampoo, your soap. Yes. Let me read that again. I think I saw somebody put about laundry soap. What kind of? Okay, I just had that. I use HighOh. This is what I use. I get this at Walmart. Kroger sell it as well. This is what I've used right now. I also been venturing and using, trying to make my own laundry soap. There's people on YouTube that you can look at, and always reread the comments. I'm big in reading the comments, what people are saying, to see what issues they had, to keep that in mind. So like the baking soda, washing soda, vinegar. So that's what I've been using. I probably need to do a video with that. So that's what I use. HighOh. Again, I'm gonna show it again, just so that it's clear. HighOh is a brand. That's what I use. Far as, so even with that, I'm using. And soap, I would use Castile soap. You get that at Walmart. Walmart is the cheapest. You go to Whole Foods, or other stores are selling it for $5 and some change, and you get it at Walmart for $2 and some change. This is the same soap. Castile, made with coconut, and then but some people agree with and some it doesn't. So again, it's not a one fit all. My parents used it, or my father did, and it itched him, like he was itchy with it. So just find one that it's good for you. There's so many out there. There's Dr. Bonner's soap. That's another one, Dr. Bonner's. So there's alternatives to have less chemicals on our bodies that is affecting our health. The hair dyes we're using, there's alternatives for that as well. If you're perming your hair, I'm going to give crickets. Um, don't do it as much. I would say don't do it at all, but I'm not the person to tell you what you can and cannot do. But at least, don't do as often. Throw a wig in there if you need to. But less chemicals better. Those chemicals are linked to cancer as well as fibroids. Okay, so we talked about what you put on your body. As far as diet, everything that comes from a tree and ground in its natural source is what you need to be eating. Okay, staying away from the sugar. So if you could do this, try it for 3 to 6 months. No white sugar, nothing made with sugar in it, because that'll grow your fibroids. Sugar, no refined sugar. If you have to have something sweet, and I hope I'm debating if I should put this in there. Coconut sugar is supposed to be healthy, but any white sugar remove. If you want sweetener, it should be maple syrup, honey. If you're not diabetic, so making more of your natural, sticking more to your natural sugars and not the refined. So anything that has white sugar, that means you have to read your label. So if you're buying spaghetti sauce, guess what it has? They're added, not what far as the nutrients. I'm talking about added things they add. They add white sugar to it. So read your label. Stay away from that. What you can do is, if you do it starting over, trying to really heal from this, and not have heavy bleeding, do a juicing for 3 days. Do juicing for 3 days. I would say more, but just do 3 days of juicing. Then, if you can, on the third, on after you do 3 days of juicing, your carrots, your kale. If you can't do all 3 days of just juicing, then do juicing and eat raw salads. Okay, just so you can have some food. Hello all. So do that 3 days of that. If you can do a fast, that also helps shrink your fibroids. But you're not gonna fast every day. But you would fast maybe for a day with no food, or you just juice your healthy greens, your carrots, your beets. Guys, I can just go online and find juice recipes. I can give it, but y'all can find that. That's easy. Do that for 3 days. Get a juice recipe for 3 days. If you get a book, that's fine too. And then eat raw for a day, which is the fourth day. You can have nice salads. Have like a raw cereal, which consists of bananas, strawberry, any of your fruits, maybe some chia seeds or some flax seeds, and make your almond milk and cashew milk. You can make that. That would be that's considered a raw cereal. Okay. And then you have your salads for lunch and dinner. No, and you can add beans to that. Just no cooked food, no other cooked food if you want to add beans. That's that. And then you go eating healthier. Now, for 3 to 6 months, if you're not trying to be a total vegetarian, no meat. Meat feeds fibroids just as much as it feeds cancer. So you would stay away from the meat, like I mentioned to you. If you decide to go back, it should be only organic and not every day. Okay? Which produce should you eat? Avoid juicing. I would stick to your greens. Greens. Add your greens because they are so important. The chlorophyll in those greens are so important. Your carrots is very important for the vitamin A. I would put in there. Your beets is very good, and you don't need a lot of it. I would do a combination of those. What else is good? The parsley is good. Your celery is good. Any combination of those is good for you. Far as staying away from, long as it's a vegetable juice, I don't see any vegetable that you need to stay away from. You can do those. And just for 3 days. If you can last 5 days, even better. If you could last 5 days, even better. And thumbs up to you if you can. And then that, all you're doing is now you're resetting your body. Okay, you're resetting your body, and you're detoxing. Okay, you're detoxing your body. It's a form of detoxing. And then now you're going to eating healthy. I would not go into eating hot foods right away because you just stayed away from cooked food for so long. I would do salads, and maybe as something warm, I would do soup before you go head on to eating again. And so that's something you could start off as you're taking your tea. You could take Chase berry tree tea if you don't find it very good for you. There's red clover, which is another tea that helps with hormones. You got your Thistle. Milk Thistle. You can find these on my website, which is good for your liver. And Dandelion tea, which is good for your liver. They say you clean your liver, you're good. And then the slippery elm, if you're having gut issues, slippery elm is good for fixing the gut. And you can get it in powder and put it in a capsule and drink it, or you get the powder and put it in your smoothie or your drink if you're doing some juicing. But that's good for healing the gut. I mentioned stay away from wheat, meat, soy, okay, white sugar, and refined foods. Ideally, also, if you can, not too much fried foods, not too many oils. No, citrus, you definitely need the lemon. The lemon I mentioned, you don't need a part of your juice. If you're gonna do juice, pineapple is very good because it helps with digestive system. Because most people have issues with the digestive system. Pineapple is good if you're doing a smoothie with that. What else? Apples. Some people use apples with their greens to sweeten it up a little bit. That's not an issue. Apples is fine. So I can't think again. Again, vegetable juice is good, very good. Again, because I'm thinking your greens, your beets, your carrots. But you can do a smoothie with the pineapple. So if I say juicing, you also can do smoothies as long as it's like raw fruits. Okay. If you're gonna do frozen, that is fine. You're just giving your body a break to heal itself. Okay. And then addition to the teas and eating healthy. Now I have a series of videos, grass and dandelion, juice and wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is fine, and dandelion is very, very good because again, it helps with your liver. Dandelion is very good for your liver, so you definitely want to include that in your diet. I'm trying to think of what else. So the main ones is meat, all meat, wheat, anything gluten, soy, unless you're eating the beans itself and it's organic, white sugar is not your friend, and anything refined. So basically, you want to eat your produce, your whole foods. As far as grains, you can have brown rice, but not every day. You can have millet, millet. It's very alkaline. It's a grain. You just know how. Just add your, salt for taste. It's 1 cup of millet to 3 cups of water for it to cook well. And you have your quinoa, which is good. So there's other grains other than rice. Some cultures like mine like to eat rice every single day. That's not good because rice is very acidic. So you wouldn't eat it every single day. You want to switch out your grains maybe no more than 2-3 days out the week, and not increase it and switch it out. Okay. Can I eat chicken for feet because it doesn't have fat? Um, I would eliminate it. I would eliminate it. Just give yourself 6 months. See how you feel in 6 months. If you want to add it back, but if I was going to promote something, I would promote everybody to not eat meat. And if you decide that you have to have it, I would definitely eliminate chicken feet. Do not eat it every day, and preferably organic, chemical free. If you're not growing it yourself. Yes, yeah, do that. Yes, I am saying straight up, don't eat meat because meat feeds tumors, all tumors, fibroids, cancers. Meat feed them mainly also because what they inject the meat with. I'm even saying for even people that are vegetarians, total vegetarian, aka vegan, not to even eat soy for the same reason as the meat, for the same reason of this wheat. With the wheat, like your wheat bread, whatever, stuff like that. I'm saying not to eat that as well because for the same reason as the soy and meat. They changed it in regards to injecting stuff in it. With the wheat used to be about 5 feet tall. That's how it was. And it was slender. Now it's about 2 feet and the stems are fatter for mass production. So they changed the whole format of what wheat is, how wheat's supposed to be, and your body don't recognize that. With the meat, they're injecting it so that they inject the cows, the chicken, so that could grow faster and fatter. And one thing they inject cow with is bovine. Bovine is linked to child type 1 diabetes in children, let alone all other things. So what they stick in them and affects them affects us because we're eating it. We're taking in their blood, we're taking in their meat, and then we're getting the same health issues that they're getting. Cows get cancer too. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Okay, somebody retract the message. Okay, so yes, I'm saying don't eat meat, but if you have to have it, don't eat it every day, and preferably organic and not for every meal. So that's a way to scale back without going cold turkey just to go back. So if I'd rather somebody eat it sparingly than to cut it off and then go hard because they missed it and they really want to do it. I mentioned, I always say, and I still agree, that we all have a weakness of certain foods. So pray that God give us strength to overcome, because food is our weakness, whatever it is. If it's not meat, it's French fries, it's something. It's sweet, especially if you're having a bad day. You food is our comfort, and so it's the thing. It's the thing that can also kill you as well if you're not choosing it wisely. So I always add, like I add before, to pray for God's strength to overcome some of the challenges as it relates to certain foods that's a weakness, to not have the appetite, because your health matters more. So even I have a weakness and I have to go back, which is fries. You know, not everybody that because they're total vegetarian eats healthy. That's why vegetarians can still be sick, because they're not eating healthy all the way. So no to the meat, but if you're gonna have it, not every day, and preferably organic. Yes, I'm gonna start doing consults again. What been making why did I get a lot of videos is because as I mentioned in other videos, if you watch, for those who for the first time, you're hearing it for the first time, I'm fostering to adopt. And it looks like we're going to be adopting. So I got the message today. Sometimes I try not to get overly excited because it's been an emotional roller coaster. And you'll hear good news one day and then the bad news another day. But I realized it was a test of faith, to trust God. This whole journey is about trusting God. So I gotta just, yeah, be excited and not be scared to get excited and then get some bad news again. But it looks like we'll be adopting, and come December, I'll get the 100% for sure. But it looks like that way. So it's harder with him. He's sleeping now. By the grace of God, he's still sleeping. But I plan on doing consulting again. I'm trying to see when, because I don't like to overload myself. I just starting to travel again. My first travel is in North Carolina, where I'll be speaking on women's health and hormones, why we're sick, the dirty truth. And so I'm just trying to see when I want to add that, because I'm not superwoman and I'm not trying to be. Mm-mm. So if you hit me up, because some people will hit me up still, they'll find my number on my website and call me, and that's how they get a consult. I don't advertise it, but that's how they get a consult. So technically, no and yes. That's how that goes. But if you go on my website and you call me through there, because I'm not gonna just post it up. What about gluten-free cereals and breads? Yes, they're out there. Stores like, read the ingredients always. Stores like Whole Foods, Kroger, Publix is doing more. Even Walmart is doing more. Don't sleep on Walmart. For those who like Walmart and hate Walmart at the same time. Kroger, Walmart, Whole Foods, of course. Go online. Things might be cheaper online, but there are gluten-free cereals. And there's gluten-free bread. There's one that I like the best is Little Dollhouse. I always get Little House, something. Again, I have to start taking pictures and just put it in the community. I like there because their bread is just soft and it's vegan and it's gluten-free and you understand the ingredients. I'm not a big bread lover, but that's the bread I normally get. And again, far as breakfast, I know the people have the hardest time with breakfast. Um, it's a whole nother video. There's so many things you can do. You don't have to do traditional. You can make hashed potatoes, potatoes, and you can make a mock chickpea scramble. It may not sound tasty, but it is. It's all about flavoring. You can make a raw cereal. A raw cereal is you slicing up some bananas, adding blueberries, adding strawberries, adding some chia seeds. What else you can add? You can add some bee pollen if you're familiar with that. You can add some nuts, some sliced almonds. You can add some raisins or black currants and make it filling. And then you add either your almond milk or your cashew milk or your rice milk, and you just got a cereal. You just got a whole bowl of cereal. Your nuts, is what make you full. So if you would have breakfast, you would eat the cereal, for example, because it has the fruits and it has your nuts, so that should be filling. What keeps you from being hungry, if you eat breakfast, add a handful of nuts. So let's say you did something else. Let's say you did fruits and you did oatmeal. I'm not a fan of oatmeal. I hate oatmeal. But if you did fruits, always make your fruits a good amount. You ate your fruits, whatever that is, and then you ate a bowl of oatmeal, and then you have a handful of raw nuts. That could be pecan, walnuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, almonds, just a handful. If you do that, that would keep you from being hungry. It will keep you full for at least up to 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Without the nuts at the end, raw, unsalted, you'll be hungry within 2 hours. So the fats from the nuts is very important after your breakfast. And the reason I say 5 hours, why that's important, because you're not supposed to eat before that. Your meal takes 4 hours to digest. When you eat before that, I'm going on and on. When you eat before that, your food is not digested. That it's not digested. It's sitting there, and it ferments, which creates acidity. That's why some people have acid reflux, or have issues with not having a regular bowel movement, or have a stomach because the food never got properly digested. And there's a thing called intermittent fast. It's not new, but it's not fully correct, and somehow some people are giving it. You're not supposed to wait. You can't eat just any time of the day. It's not supposed to go that way. With intermittent fast, the real one that I knew that was written 100 years ago, is that you have your breakfast before 10, preferably, and from morning time, whatever you wake up, before 10 o'clock. Not, you can't have breakfast at 11, 12. No, you just fill your body up with gas. You'll be gassed up and wondering why you have pain and sharp pain in your stomach. So breakfast should be before 10 o'clock, ideally no later than 9. But I know life happens. It does. I'm just giving you the ideal. So before 10 o'clock, and then if you have a healthy breakfast, you shouldn't have your next meal time until 5 hours, because it takes 4 hours for one meal to digest and 1 hour to give your body a break, because it did one of the hardest work. And if you do that, you lose weight, you lose inches from your stomach. And far as drinking water, you drink water 15 minutes before you eat. That's the ideal. 5 minutes is not going to kill you, but you want to drink before you eat. And then you'd wait 2 hours. Can't do that, at least one. But 2 hours is the ideal. 1 hour is okay. You drink 1 hour after you eat. Just doing that alone regularly will allow you to lose weight, bring that stomach down, help you with your hormones. Do you know that eating opposite of what I just explained would affect your hormones? But I don't share all this information because I don't want to overwhelm people. Just do the basic of at least eating healthy, and then we get the logistics of the physiology of digestion together. But that's why when people don't know, when people tell me they did everything, you're lying. You don't, I mean, even sometimes I don't do everything. So, and I know I don't know everything, but I know a lot of things. And so when people say I did everything, no, if I talk to you, I'll find out something that's not being done. I'll find at least one thing that is still affecting the issue. So I rattled on. This is just only supposed to be a video on pads. Hold on. I'm looking at, let me see. Somebody just comment. I'm sorry if I don't get it. Please share reasons for not. I can't have. Well, first, I don't like oatmeal, and people that have issues with wheat, that can't tolerate have a wheat intolerance, or have celiac, which is related to eating gluten and wheat. They also would have an issue with eating oatmeal. So I can't have oatmeal. I'll have white spots right here. If I eat oatmeal, or even too much salt. So I'll have like white patches right around here. Same thing with my sister and my mother. All three of us cannot have oatmeal. And I already don't like oatmeal anyway, but I can't have it. So for some people, if you pay attention to your body, if you get bloated, look at what you ate. So I have a friend of mine, her son had bad eczema. There's many reasons for it. Okay, but for her, her reason was oatmeal. So her daughter called me saying her son had a lot of eczema on all over his body. It was really bad. And she asked me, what can she do? And I said, we're going to do elimination of foods. And I gave a list of the foods. Wheat was included. Her son, I think, was 2 years old or 1.5. And I told her oatmeal. She said, why oatmeal? I said, I'm just giving you a list just in case, because oatmeal for some people are a problem. And she said, I give him oatmeal every single day. I said, well, we need to definitely eliminate that. So she eliminated the oatmeal from day one. So I talked to her on Monday. She didn't have it on Tuesday. And Wednesday, she started seeing a difference of his skin starting to clear up. I told her it could take at least up to 3 months, eliminate all the foods I mentioned, and then you will start seeing more of a results. It took her 5 months, and for her son to be cleared up of the allergy of eczema. But the main thing that she was giving him, because her son was basically vegetarian, so the main thing for her that she was giving him every day, which is too early, I think, was the oatmeal. So just check your body. Some people can have it and some people can't. So I'm not telling people get rid of oatmeal. Pay attention to your body. And see if it's something that you're finding might be a connection to something going on with you. So that's why I don't have oatmeal. One, I don't like it, and two, I can't even have it. Okay, what else? I'm trying to look at the comments, guys. Okay, I shared that. What do raw vegan lifestyle, long person, educated, health vegan, too many junk food? Okay, raw, 100% raw, no. I would never recommend 100% raw. If somebody does it, I don't condemn them or knock them. I just don't recommend 100% raw. I recommend balance. So if somebody wanted to increase more raw, maybe 50-50 would be okay. Maybe 70-30, 80-20. Everyone should have raw foods in their diet. That means eating salads before your lunch, having a healthy salad that is raw, having fruits that is raw, having vegetables in your salads. Everyone should have a raw diet as well, not just eating cooked food 100%, but including raw in your diet. Like I mentioned, a raw fruit bowl. When I mention a cereal with only fruits and nuts and seeds, that's raw. So everyone should include raw in a diet, but I would never recommend 100% raw unless you're trying to do it for a time because you have a chronic illness. And even then, they still recommend at least 20-30% of some cooked food. So I would not recommend 100%. I hope people that are watching that are 100% raw, I'm not condemning. I'm not saying nobody should do it. If that's what you want to do, everybody has free choice. I'm just saying I wouldn't recommend. If somebody said, would I recommend it? I'm saying no. I believe in balance. That's why even people that want to eat meat, if that's what you want to do, just don't do it every day. So that's how I feel about things. But I'm not going to do 100% raw. I'm not going to eat meat. But I know everyone is different. But I would recommend a total vegetarian diet. And in this age, I would recommend it for everybody. But for everybody has their process. So if you need to do it gradually, do it. But don't just eat meat only. That's what I would say. What else? Share reason for not okay. And friend told me like glue or in our gut, is that true? Told me like it melt like glue. Research. Research and get a balanced view. I don't believe in coming extreme in anything. Look at how oatmeal was traditionally made. Look at what it's for. Look at the benefits and look at the effects. Again, wheat I know has an issue on people's gut. Again, some people's body is stronger that they can still break down the wheat. But far as gut issues is related to abuse of how we eat. Especially even as young children, how we ate before. None of us unless you had parents that knew how to eat healthy from the time you were born, you find that a lot of the abuse happened as childhood or even babies being introduced to certain foods early. And then over the time, now your gut is affected. I mean, back in the day, you ate late. You ate a whole meal at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night because you went out and now you hanging out. I mean, I did that. And so, of course, of years of abuse, you're going to have issues with the gut, but it can be fixed. It can be fixed with proper diet, not eating late, taking herbs, one of them like slippery elm, adding aloe to your diet, for a time, adding even it to your juice. Those are things that help with the gut, taking away foods that affects the gut. So it can't be healed. It can't be fixed. So it just making a new lifestyle. But I think gut issues is related to years of abuse, and a lot of issues that we have is related to our gut health, and leaky gut. So you can trace a lot of health issues to that. And then you can just make the proper changes and you'll find relief. But pay attention to your body. What one person can have, another can't. So I can't have oatmeal. I wouldn't tell people not to have oatmeal. I'm trying, well, I say I'm taking the word try out of my vocabulary. My aim is to eliminate as much as possible processed food. So instead of doing oats, quick oats, and whole oats, you look into, if you want to have oats, to doing steel oats. Steel oats is more if it's in its natural form than you doing the quick oats and the whole oats from Quaker Oats or any other company that is not its natural form. So you could do a research on the what is it called? It is called the history of oats, or just look up the history of oats as the quick oats, the process that it takes, versus doing steel oats in its natural form. So as much as possible within your means, try to do more of food in its natural state, is what I would say. Okay, any other comments, guys? I hope I didn't overwhelm or confuse. I try to give things in pieces, so it won't be overwhelming, because everything is related to lifestyle. Every health issue is related to how we live, how we eat, how we think, how we sleep, how we exercise. And as we gradually correct those things, we'll see the changes in our health. So if anyone wants an individual consultation, you could go to my website, sheiswhole.org. If you see I didn't respond, just call me through there, because life has changed for me a lot. And I'm praying more to see if I should go back into doing a consultation. I'd rather do group, and I'm trying to see how I can do a group where whatever health related issues that's connected to everyone, I can do that. And someone asked to do a thyroid video, so that is next on the list. They're talking about thyroids, and you can also heal from thyroids as well. And it's all lifestyle. It's all lifestyle. And if you correct those lifestyle, you'll find the correction in healing as well. And it's just basic natural stuff that you can do, and that won't cost you an arm and a leg either. But it's choice. It's also choices too. It's also choice. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm getting these late. Where are we? We did the breads and cereals. Specific product to take to help menstrual period return with the history of PCOS. Okay, I can't think. Okay. Okay, let me address that a little bit, because I can't think off the top of my head. With PCO, with people not having, at least the people I worked with that didn't have their menstrual on time, a lot of times related to stress. A lot of times it's related to stress, and stress can be from a childhood trauma, your adolescence trauma, adult trauma. I always say, for certain illnesses, always look back to when you started having the issue and what was going on around that time leading up to when you were diagnosed or when it became a problem, and to see what might be the link to that emotionally, stress wise. So that's one. A lot of issues is not only just linked to food, but emotional trauma and stress and anger, resentment, unforgiveness. That is linked to health. Everything not eating right can cause. Emotional stress can cause the exact same thing. Emotional stress can even cause cancer, even if you ate healthy. So that's the other part of health. So I would look into that. PCOS, and any women health related issues is linked to hormonal imbalance. And if you find out the cause of hormonal imbalance, if it's not stress related, emotional stress related, chemical related, environmentally related, then it's lifestyle. How we eat, how we sleep, if we're doing any exercise, if we're drinking plenty of water, if we're getting proper rest. But what I would tell you to do, so because I can't think of the top of my head, but the chaste tree would help with the hormone imbalance, or red clover tea would help with the hormone imbalance. But for you, hit me up. On my website, sheiswhole.org. If I do not respond, my number is on there. Just call me. Just call me. There's a reason I'm not giving my number here. Just go to my website, because then I know everybody won't do that. So not everybody takes the extra step. So if I do it here, it'd be different. So go to my website, hit me up on there, and then we can. If I don't message you back, then call me, and then we'll talk from there. To specifically address the PCOS, and I'll do a whole video just related to that. I also have a book on my website where it talks about PCOS, fibroids, and endometriosis and PMS. And that book is very inexpensive. It gives you everything that you need to do, herbs, diet-wise, and what causes it as well. And it's under $20 with shipping and handling. So if you would like to support, that book is on the website as well. I'm surprised this at any given moment, this, I don't know if this iPod is gonna die off. Okay, let's see. Hey, I don't want to butcher your name, but Trizer, hello to you. I addressed that. Doctor wants to do a complete hysterectomy due to fibroids causing severe bleeding on off, randomly impairs my day to day. For that person, message me. This is where you would have to do like the detox and the juicing and some extra things as well that somebody may not have to do. So that would be Meet Virginia. Contact me on sheiswhole.org. I've been doing intermittent fasting from June. I don't eat until 12 or one daily and never had gas pains. Okay, kudos to you. That's not the ideal though. I have to be honest. That's not ideal. If you go back to originally you don't skip breakfast. You don't. That if you're gonna skip any meal, and I'm not telling you to stop, I'm just sharing. If you're gonna skip any meal, it would not be breakfast. Better to skip lunch and dinner, but not breakfast. That's old school thinking. That school of thinking is still legit. But that's why again I mentioned not eating, not having your first breakfast after 10 o'clock, or your meals regularly. It is proven to slow your hormones. Slow your metabolism. And again, not everybody get the same thing, but your first meal should not be 1 or 12 o'clock. But if it works for you, continue. The intermittent fast that I understand from at least 100 years ago is that you eat your breakfast first and you wait 5 to 6 hours before your next meal. You're fasting in between that time. And then you eat your lunch and you fast 5 to 6 hours from lunchtime. And if it's not too late, you can have maybe something light. So you eat like a queen, because it's women. You eat like a queen for breakfast. You eat like a princess for lunch, and you eat like a pauper for dinner or supper. That means very light or nothing at all, because you don't want to go to food. You don't want to go to bed with food in your stomach. So ideally, this is the ideal. You would not eat past 6 o'clock a heavy meal, so that when you go to sleep, you have fasted from 6 o'clock all the way until, if you go to bed at 10, so from 6 to 10 all the way up to the next morning, you have gone without food. If you add something after 6, it had to be something light like popcorn or soup with nothing, like a broth or salad, something that your body can digest quickly, and nothing that it would take 4 hours, so you don't go to sleep with food in your stomach, because once you eat a certain time, the food just sits there. Which for some people take away the appetite from having breakfast in the morning. So if you're eating late and you're wondering why you don't have an appetite in the morning, that's one of the reasons. Or you're just used to not eating in the morning and you build your body a habit. So I don't recommend passing all the way to 12 or 1 o'clock to have your first meal. But I'm not a condemner. I don't condemn Anybody on anything, if it works for you, then, you know, it works. What else? Can I blend the juice instead of juicing it? Yeah, you can do that. If you have a regular blender, Vitamix, you add your water. If it doesn't have to be a Vitamix, but a good blender, that's fine. Just having something raw with the nutrients in it. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm reading these as I go so I don't miss anybody. God bless you as well, everyone. Let's see. Okay, so again, for the person that's doing an intermittent fast, again, I'm just going by something that doesn't change. I don't do fads. I don't do things that just came up, like this eating six times a day. You know, when that came out, eat 6 meals a day. That was not healthy. And if people did the research of that, they realized that was only supposed to be done for a time to boost the metabolism. But anybody that did that, you're going to have health issues later on, because what you're doing is causing your digestive system to constantly work and overwork. Anything you overwork eventually is going to crash on you in some way, shape, or form. Again, old school, way back before we were even born, our parents were born. It is 3 meals. And again, big, medium, small, or none, depending on if you're satisfied. If you ate a good breakfast and lunch. So the 6 meals was something that they did to lose weight quick, but it also for long-term use, is not a lifestyle thing. And it causes health. So I usually stick to what has not changed, that is still is a rule of thumb, and is still something that is healthy, set up with a new school of thought that is coming up as a fad, as a cure-all, as a lose weight all kind of thing. So I hope I just sharing with you and you understood with that. And I think that was it. We talked about pads, which was only supposed to be this video about. Look into alternative, healthier pads for you that is less chemical and chemical free. That will also give you some relief. People have said for them, changing their pads gave them relief from pain or heavy bleeding. And I believe that to be true, in addition to making other changes as well. Always include a holistic approach, not just one thing alone, is ideal. So I'm about to wrap it up. So if there's any other questions before I get off that I can answer, if I can, I will. If I can't, I'll say I don't know. But that's really all I had to share today. And I'm thinking. I'll bring the other 2 items again as an alternative for those who can't see that much blood. There are other alternatives. Always something that would work for you that give you the same results. You just have to, do the research for that and look at the reviews and test it out for yourself if you like. Blessing. Okay, repeat the website. It is she, as in she, SHE, is IS whole WHOLE.org. SheIsWhole.org. I haven't updated any more information, but on there, if you go to the blog, you'll see the fibroids diet. You'll see the castor oil pack information, how to do that. One for the liver as well for the fibroids. What is on there? How for those who have issues getting pregnant, information on that. I need to put one for the men. A lot of times we think it's only the women, but sometimes it's the men or just the man. So I need to put the information for men for fertility. So there's some things on there, and I shared my story of finding out when we were trying to get pregnant and couldn't. I thought it was me the whole time, even though I got checked and they said nothing was wrong. I never thought about my husband. So I shared that story and how I went through an emotional roller coaster with that. And so for anyone that might be able to relate and having issues getting pregnant, I share my story in that, which was very emotional, even writing it. But I'm in a good place now. But sheiswhole.org, and I'll also link it on here too. No, thank you. Any way I'm able to help, I will try to share more information. Knowledge is out there. I don't know it. I'll have it all. There is knowledge out there. Always research and look for balance in everything. There's so much information coming out there, and I know it. Like, wait a minute, they said we could have vinegar. Wait a minute, they said apple cider vinegar. always look at the pros and cons. I have so many books, so a lot of my information is not just on Google, but it's in the books that have been written and haven't been the information haven't been changed from doctors, not just naturopath for those who don't feel like naturopath have any information, but just legitimate doctors, information that have not been changed. So there's a lot of information. So you have to fact check even what I say and come at me. And I'll just like the young lady mentioned about intermittent fast and eating late and nothing, and she had no issues. Everybody's body is affected differently. Like fibroids, not everybody has pain. Not everybody has heavy bleeding. Not everybody has big fibroids. Some have big fibroids with no pain. Some have small fibroids with a lot of pain. So we're all affected differently, but there are effects. There are effects that may not even be shown. Somebody have fibroids with no pain, but they still have fibroids. So always fact check, always research, always read reviews, so you know what the potential issues that might come with you may not. So always do that. And I believe in balance. So always look for that balance and what works for you and what makes sense, even if you don't want to do it. Even if you don't want to do it, but you're like, man, I don't want to do this, but it makes sense. And again, I'm not holier than thou, but I do believe in praying and asking God, because I have my own weaknesses, and I realize even when me trying to do it on my own, I'm like, oh, I keep falling back. So I have to pray for God to help me, to keep me accountable, to be consistent, and consistency is the biggest issue that most of us have. But I thank God for his blessings anyway. So just pray for that consistency and knowledge and wisdom and the strength to do what you need to do to take care of your health, because you only have one body, one body, one body. And again, it's a beautiful thing to be able to talk to you right now while I'm on my cycle and not being exhausted or not screaming and yelling. So big ups to him. And again, there's many ways to heal the fibroids, not just the ways that I mentioned, but the basic way is diet has to be changed. Exercise, walking is simple. Drinking plenty of water, 8 to 10 cups. Staying away from plastic as much as you can. Doing stainless steel and glass. Having less chemicals on your body. Those are things that across the board, no matter what herbs somebody recommends differently from what I suggested, those basic things has to be done regardless. Changing your diet has to be done. So those things have to be done. Herbs may change, but what I just mentioned to you, as far as eating less chemicals, exercising, sleeping on time before 12, and those things, everybody has to do it. Everyone, I repeat, has to do that, regardless of what herbs you take or don't take, vitamins you take or don't take. And if you go to my community on YouTube, you'll see pictures of vitamins that you can take. And you can research other companies. Now is good too. Now is another company that is good. And I'm going to share the chasteberry tree that's in liquid form for those who can't stand the tea. And you could do the powder as well. So I'll share that on the site for those who just don't have the time to make the tea. So those are options as well. And until next time, have a blessed and wonderful day. It is sheiswhole.org. And have a blessed week. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, so one more question. Are tampons unhealthy to use? Pads, okay. I think it was retracted, but tampons, I've always learned that it was not healthy, just like the regular pads that we use that have the chemicals in. Those are not healthy. It's been linked to ovarian cancer. Again, go and research, look, and if you research good, sometimes the government will admit to this, like the government website with women's.org, I think is their .org.gov, something like that. Sometimes that's even on their website. So if you don't trust other sites because they're just talking, sometimes the government will admit to some of these things. Some things I found, far as endocrine disruptor on the government website, they admitted to plastic creating an issue and certain chemicals creating an issue and birth control pills creating an issue, even long term from mother to child and so on. So if you do good research, you'll find even in the government, they'll admit to some of these things that we talked about. And so tampons have been linked to ovarian cancer and other health issues. Some people get one issue, some people get another. Everybody's affected differently, but you are affected. So when you think about putting chemicals in your body, so if chemicals on food can affect us, could you imagine chemicals in the stuff that we're sticking or absorbing on our body? Those affecting us. So go ahead and look into it more and see what you find. But I've always heard early on that tampons created an issue. What would you know what it means? I'll stand by, right? Would you know what it means to have uterus that is retroverted? I did an ultrasound and those were my results. I'm not sure what that means in regards to retroverted. If could you explain what that mean? What they were trying to say to you? Did it mean it revert back? Was it forward and it went backward? It went to the back because some fibers are in the back. Like what did it mean? Like did you have surgery or something was taking place? So I'm not sure what that means, so I can't comment on that. And I have no shame of if I don't understand something or I don't know something to say I don't know. So I'm not sure what that means. So if you want to hit me up another time independently from here, or you want to comment there so other people can know as well, we can do that. Just let me know in the comments. And we could close out. So Chica, would you be able to share with us what that means? And if you're not sure, did they explain anything to you? And guys, when you go to the doctor, don't be afraid to ask. I think that's my neighbor. One moment. Rex? Oh, come on in. I was just on. Come on, I was just doing a video. Okay. My neighbor's here, so I gotta go. I forgot he was coming in. We'll do another video next week. So meet me. Today is Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday, I will connect with you guys, and I gotta go. You got my website, and I'll share it in the link below with other links to this as well. Until next time, bye. Sorry, gotta go.